You ever been in a situation where you wish that you could speak more confidently, especially if it is an area where you're supposed to have a high level of knowledge or expertise on a particular topic, but you find that when you communicate, you lack confidence and you experience a sense of anxiety or shyness or lack of clarity when you communicate about this topic. Well, if this is something that you struggled with in the past, today I'm going to give you 3 tips to overcome this problem so that you can communicate more confidently. My name is Paul Masetta, and I am a researcher in the field of human communication. So if you like learning about things like human communication, then go ahead and consider subscribing. So first, let me say that most of the time when people lack confidence as it relates to communication, it's because they are imagining or visualizing an unfavorable scenario in their brain as it relates to that communication. So, for example, they might be imagining a scenario where somebody asks them a question that they don't have the answer to. They might be imagining a scenario where they get exposed. So maybe they have some sort of an imposter syndrome and they're afraid that somebody's going to expose the fact that they are not the all-knowing wizard on the mountain that has all the answers as it relates to this particular topic. But in short, what they are imagining is a scenario where they're going to look unprepared, foolish, or maybe even stupid. And so the only way to truly overcome that issue is to develop a true high level of competence as it relates to the topic that you communicate about. So I am a big believer and a big proponent of competence leading to confidence. The more competent you are, and the more you know about a specific topic or area of expertise, the more naturally you are going to communicate confidently about that specific thing. And there is no other way to become ultra competent in something than to put in the necessary reps that it takes to become competent in that thing. That could be weeks, it could be months, it could be hours, it could be years that it takes to develop a truly high level of competence in a certain area of expertise. But when you do, it's almost like you're planting an organic seed of confidence in yourself that's going to manifest when you communicate with people, because input dictates output. So the more input you put in terms of reps and experience, the better your output is going to be when you communicate with people. So the number one thing that you need to do in order to develop true confidence when you communicate with people is competence. Now, once you've done that and you've developed that level of competence in your area of expertise, now it comes time to look at, well, how can you improve the way you actually communicate that competence? And so there are really 2 things that you can do as it relates to this. Number 1 is to slow down your rate of speech and think about what you want to say when you communicate. You see, oftentimes when people communicate, they're speaking very fast and they're almost talking over themselves. And so, number 1, the message isn't being communicated clearly. And so when they're looking at their audience, they're going to pick up on the fact that the audience looks a little bit confused or untrusting of them. And that's like a vicious cycle, because that's only going to make them feel more anxiety and less confidence as they communicate. And so if you just slow your speech down and think about what you want to say before you say it, you're going to communicate much more clearly. The second thing that happens when you do this is you actually get more oxygen in your lungs as you communicate. So, in general, fast communication signifies anxiety. Like if you think about it, when do you typically communicate really fast? It's in high stakes situations, right? You call 911, there's an emergency, like you're talking fast. If something bad is happening, you're talking fast. If something urgent is happening, you're talking fast. So, generally speaking, when the human mind hears fast talking, it associates it with trauma. It associates it with urgency. It associates it with discomfort. It associates it with nervousness. It associates it with anxiety. And so, one of the easiest ways to combat that is to just slow down your rate of speech. And again, the second byproduct of this is that when you do that, you'll actually get more oxygen into your lungs when you communicate, which is going to lower your cortisol levels and make you more relaxed. The second thing that you can do is to have pre-rehearsed answers to common questions that you get. So if you know for a fact that there are 3 to 5 top common questions that most people ask you as it relates to the thing that you're an expert in, you should have those answers planned out and rehearsed. You should know exactly how you're going to answer those questions when they are posed to you. I've done this time and time again where I've rehearsed in front of a mirror, or I've used my phone and I've recorded a voice memo, or I've shot a video and spoken it into a camera, where I know exactly how I'm going to answer the top 3 to 5 common questions that people ask me as it relates to the thing that I'm an expert in. Because what this enables me to do is show up prepared so that when they ask me the question, I'm not stumbling over my words. But even more important than that is that then sets the tone for the rest of the conversation. You see, lack of confidence or anxiety, like I said before, can be like a vicious cycle where you're nervous because you're unprepared, and then because you're unprepared, you're communicating from a place of anxiety. Your audience is picking up on that. You're picking up on the fact that they're picking up on it. That's making you even more nervous and anxious. And so it's this self-perpetuating cycle that just keeps repeating itself. So one of the ways that you could stop that from happening is by not starting from a place of anxiety and unpreparedness, and instead knowing exactly how you're going to answer the question, what the words are that you're going to use, and the tonality, the rhythm, the pace, and the volume that you're going to use when you answer those questions. Because then what's going to happen is that's going to immediately set the stage for you communicating with confidence. Your audience is going to sense that you're confident. That's going to make you even more confident. And that's how you start the flow of a confident conversation or communication with someone else. So again, top 3 things you could do: develop a high level of competence, slow down your breathing rate, and have pre-rehearsed answers to the top 3 to 5 common questions that people ask you. If you are interested in learning how to be a more confident communicator, I'm going to put a link to my book, The Code of the Confident Communicator, down in the description. You can go pick it up and learn how you can increase your confidence using my full framework when you communicate with others. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, give it a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about what I spoke about today, and consider subscribing. And if you do, hit that bell notification so you get updated when I release more videos like this.